fourth graders, and welcome back. I am Mrs. Lamondo here to talk to you all about geometry. We are all the way up to our last lesson about polygons. Specifically today, we're going to be focused on classifying quadrilaterals. So actually, I'm going to come back to this polygon or not a polygon because I think it would be more beneficial for us to focus on this video all about quadrilaterals. We see that word quad, Q-U-A-D, and that means four. So quadrilateral means any polygon, that's a fancy word for shape, that has four sides. Let's check it out.
Hi, welcome to Math Antics. In this video, we're going to learn about special kinds of polygons called quadrilaterals. Quadrilateral is just a fancy math word for a polygon that has exactly four sides and four angles, like this one. You should recognize this shape, of course. It's a square, and a square is a special kind of quadrilateral. It's a quadrilateral because it has four sides, and it's special because all four of those sides are exactly the same length, and all four of its angles are exactly the same size. In fact, they're all right angles. Notice also that a square is formed by two pairs of parallel sides. These two opposite sides are parallel, and these two opposite sides are parallel. We'll see why that's important in a few minutes. Okay, so squares are an important type of quadrilateral, but we're going to make some changes to the square to see what other types of quadrilaterals there are. The two things that we can change are the sides and the angles. Let's start by changing the sides. Let's stretch our square in one direction so that one pair of sides is now longer than the other pair. This is what we call a rectangle. A rectangle is a quadrilateral that still has four equal angles. Notice that when we stretch the square, the angles didn't change at all, but it does not have four equal sides. Again, notice that just like a square, a rectangle is made from two pairs of parallel sides. All right, so that's a rectangle. But going back to our square, what if instead of changing the sides, we had just changed the angles, like this? What we have now is called a rhombus. A rhombus is a quadrilateral that still has four equal sides, but it does not have four equal angles. And once again, just like the square and rectangle, the rhombus is made from two pairs of parallel sides. Okay, going back once more to our square. What if we try changing both the sides and the angles? Here's what we end up with, and we call it a parallelogram. It's called a parallelogram because even though its sides are not all equal and its angles are not all equal, it's still made from two pairs of parallel sides. Get it? Parallelogram. Now wait a second. If that's the definition of a parallelogram, a quadrilateral that's made from two pairs of parallel sides, then wouldn't all these other shapes be parallelograms too? Exactly. All of these shapes are parallelograms, just like they're all quadrilaterals. It's just that we have special names for them if their angles are all equal, a rectangle, or if their sides are all equal, a rhombus, or if both their sides and their angles are all equal, a square. Okay then, if all the quadrilaterals we've seen so far are examples of parallelograms, what's an example that's not a parallelogram? Well, to see one, let's start over with our square again. But this time, we're going to change it by moving just one of its vertices, like so. Now, one of the pairs of sides is still parallel, but the other is not. And a quadrilateral that has only one pair of parallel sides is called a trapezoid. Well, actually, this is where classifying quadrilaterals gets a little messy. And that's because this sort of shape is called a trapezoid in America, but it's called a trapezium in other countries, like the UK. Trapezoid. Trapezium. Trapezoid. Trapezium. It's a trapezoid! At least they both start with the word trap, so it's not too confusing. Yet. Okay, so this quadrilateral is a trapezoid, or trapezium, because it has only one pair of parallel sides, and the other sides are not parallel. Here are a couple more examples of quadrilaterals that have only one set of parallel sides. All right then, What about quadrilaterals that have no parallel sides at all, like this one? These opposite sides are not parallel, and these opposite sides aren't parallel either. So what do we call this kind of polygon? Now here's the really confusing part. In America, this is sometimes called a trapezium. But isn't that what they call a quadrilateral with only one pair of parallel sides in the UK? Yep. Unfortunately, the same word is used to describe two different things in two different countries. Trapezium, 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 trapezium. Well, at least they both like football. But to keep things clear at Mathantics, we're not going to call a quadrilateral that has no parallel sides a trapezium. We don't think it needs a special name. So we're just going to call it a quadrilateral. So to summarize, any polygon that has exactly 4 sides is called a quadrilateral. And if it has no parallel sides, we still just call it a quadrilateral. But if it has one and only one pair of parallel sides, we call it a trapezoid or a trapezium. Or if it has 2 pairs of parallel sides, we call it a parallelogram. And you've already seen that there's several types of parallelograms called rectangles, rhombuses, and squares. All right, so that's the basics of classifying quadrilaterals.
All right, we're going to pause there because I know it's a lot of vocabulary words that can sometimes be super confusing. But let's go through and practice together because I think it'll make more sense as we practice. So let's pull this up. So here we have some quadrilaterals. So here we have 2 sets of parallel lines. That's a big hint. Do you remember what we call this quadrilateral? Let's pause and discuss. This is a parallelogram. Nice job if you remembered that. Number 2, I think we're all going to know the name of this quadrilateral. Let's pause and discuss. This is a rectangle. That one was easy. All right, number 3, this one might be a little bit trickier. This one has 1 set of parallel lines. It's not a parallelogram. What could this one be called? Let's pause and discuss. Did you guess trapezoid? Number 3 is a trapezoid. That might be maybe a new word for some people. So that one might be a little bit trickier. Let's go ahead and look at number 4. Again, 1 set of parallel lines. This quadrilateral we've already named before. So think about what it could be. This one is also a trapezoid. Now, number 5 is a special kind of quadrilateral called a kite. I'm going to kind of skip over that one because it doesn't come up on our Google form. Let's take a look at number 6. Number 6 should be easy. I bet a lot of us know that, quadrilateral or polygon. Let's pause and discuss. That one is a rectangle. I bet everybody got that one. And another one, number 7, I bet everybody will get. What is the name of this quadrilateral? We've been seeing this one since kindergarten, maybe before. Number 7 is also called a square. All right, let's look at number 8. Remember, number 8 might be a newish word for us. It has 2 sets of parallel sides. There's a big hint right there. Let's pause and discuss. What is the name of quadrilateral number 8? If you guessed parallelogram, you're right. Number 9, we're going to skip over again because that's another example of a kite, and that's not going to come up on our Google form. Number 10, we're going to skip over as well because that's another example of a kite. It's not going to come up on our Google form. But let's look at number 10. Oh, I bet we all know the name of quadrilateral number, number 11. We've been seeing that one for a long time. Let's pause and discuss. That is a square. And lastly, let's look at quadrilateral number 12. This one's a little bit tricky. All sides are the same length. Let's pause and discuss. Number 12 is actually a rhombus, so that might have been a little bit trickier. Now, if you're feeling a little bit confused, that's totally normal. Some of these words are new to us. It might be a little bit tricky, and that's okay. We're here to help. All right. So on our Google form today, you're going to be looking at the image and telling us whether it's a trapezoid, rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus, or square. So here's image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, image 5, and image 6. As always, if you need help, check in with your teacher. We're here and happy to help. All right, fourth graders, that's all for today. Until next time, see you then. Bye.